I was looking back at my photos the other day and I found something insanely interesting. And we're going to go through a few examples here because I find this insane, really, on a real level. And it's going to be how body fat affects your face. And we're going to start with me. And on the left is me in 2019, December. So literally just before 2020. And on the right is me in 2022. And I remember on the left, specifically, this was on a night out. We went to Bath and I was on a bulk. This was actually taken in the Witherspoons, funny enough. But I was on a bulk then and I was probably 14 and a half stone around there. I weighed quite a bit. And this is my first bulk after cutting. And it was so weird in a sense because I thought I was putting on all this muscle and all this size. But in reality, I put on a lot of fat. And then even when I cut, I didn't look that good. But it's crazy how much body fat affects your face, really, because on the right is 2022. So there's roughly around 2.5 years difference between these photos, roughly. And I think it's around June or July of 2022, the photo on the right. And it doesn't look like the same person, which is kind of crazy. And you could say, obviously, I took the photo on the right. And, well, technically took the photo on the left as well, because it's a selfie. But on the right is a complete different level. And I remember that day as well, where my body fat was probably around 11 to 12%. Could have even been near 10 because I had veins in my abs. And I don't know on a real level if that's 10% or no. It's hard to tell because people will say, you put it out online, they say it isn't. But I looked very good at that time. And I remember that day specifically because it was crazy. It was crazy because the weather was so warm where I live in Bristol and it was like 30 degrees, something like that. And I was walking around with my shirt off for the first time. I couldn't believe it. And I was getting compliments. I remember one time around this period of time, I was walking around and then these girls called me hot as I was just walking by and I was like, what the fuck? And I was wearing that outfit and I was leaner and I was so grateful for that time. But on the left, I was getting no compliments. On the left, I look kind of pudgy, out of shape, fat. And it's just going to be some inspiration for you that how body fat can affect your face on a real level, because there's no comparison between these two photos, I think, personally. And the actual version of how I viewed myself and my confidence was completely different at that point in time as well, because you just view yourself so differently when you're in better shape. It's crazy because you just feel so much more confident. And I just can't believe the progress from there to there, because obviously I didn't think that was possible. And you need to bear in mind, on the left, I wasn't in a good place. I was down. I was like eating loads of shit. I was calling it a bulk, but I was eating so much food. I was eating too much food, man. Too much food. But on the right, it was me being more disciplined with eating and just kind of improving myself. The next example is going to be Pratt. And this one's kind of crazy in a real sense because that's not the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they look like completely different people in these photos, and it's just crazy what you can do with a bit of a body transformation, how much different you can look, especially if we said you got a different haircut or whatever, obviously a movie star, but let's say you got a skin fade and the hair was tightened up or whatever, it'd look insanely better on the right than it does already. And the overall consensus of this video is going to be how body fat affects you, because look, on the left, you wouldn't think anything of him. Like, it's not to be a dick, but you wouldn't think anything of him. But on the right, you're like, oh, that's an attractive guy. That's someone who's in good shape. That's someone who's got good development. And then granted, some people would say he's on steroids and all that in this. I don't personally know. I would assume to the side that he is, just because it was quite a quick turnaround and transformation and muscle and all this. But on a real level, it doesn't dispute the rule that body fat is the biggest thing that kind of affects your looks and your face. And it's crazy because you wouldn't assume the guy on the left could look like the guy on the right. And I'd say you could probably achieve not far off from the right naturally anyway, especially over years and years and years of consistent training. You can achieve not too far off from the one on the right. You may even be able to achieve one that's similar to the one on the right. And that's the crazy thing. And that's where the inspiration comes for this video, because a lot of you may look at yourself and you may be on a similar position to the guy on the left. And you may think, oh, I'm fucking ugly, I'm clapped. No one likes me, no girls like me or whatever. But then if you just go through a few fitness transformations, a few bulks, a few cuts, especially cutting down especially, but you do want a bit of muscle as well, it makes all the difference. It makes an insane difference. This one's kind of crazy as well, because this guy's 41 as well when he done this transformation, which I find kind of crazy in a sense, and just proves at any age, if you lose body fat and try to get back in shape, and you get to a low enough percentage, it makes a whole difference. Like you can see with his double chin completely gone. You could see his overall shape. He's quite happy. You could tell the difference in gratitude and how he feels about himself in these. And this is going to be inspiration for the older people as well, because a lot of you may have a bit of a belly when you get a bit older, and even younger people as well. But when you're younger, it's obviously easier to get ripped and get lean. But when you're older, it takes a lot more discipline, of course, and it's kind of harder to get out of habits. But this guy was able to do it as well, and it just shows the difference that you can make, especially say from now to summer. We're in January, like January 15th, I think it is today, and from now to summer, you could actually lose a significant amount of weight, and you don't even have to get this ripped to make a difference. You don't have to get to this leanness. You can make a difference with 20 pounds, 30 pounds, however much you can lose, a stone. It makes a difference. And this is just going to be inspiration for everyone watching to get in better shape and to understand that how you look now isn't indicative of who you could be, if that makes sense, or how you view yourself now just because of how you look. Doesn't have to be who you will be in some months or in a year or 2 years. If you're consistent, you can completely change how you look and how you feel about yourself. This one's kind of crazy as well, because on left is 2018. So you can argue from a real level, from this photo, I was around like 16 on the one left, not gonna lie. So you could play that as a factor as well, but my diet was shit then as well. I was eating everything in sight, everything. I used to get made fun of then as well. Like in school, everyone would make fun of me for being fat all the time, man. All the time. It's quite sad, really. But on the right, it's a complete different version. And on the right was like 6-7 months ago. And I was in incredible shape at that time. Like very, very lean. And to the point that I couldn't believe it, really. There was barely any fat on me. And it just proves, man, the difference it can make. Like genuinely the difference it can make. You could put age in this as well a little bit. But on a real level, they don't look like the same person. Obviously, the haircut's a bit different as well, and I just think, like, it's crazy, the difference it could make, and I just want you lot to get inspiration from this, who's watching this, because if you look, like, similar to the left, which there is quite a few people who does, and let's say you're getting into this content or whatever, or let's say your body fat's just a little bit high, and it's nothing too crazy, let's say, like, 16% or above, 17% or above, and you think, oh, shit, I'm ugly, I'm absolutely, like, I look terrible and all this shit. You just got to lose some body fat, man, and try to hold the muscle. If you do that and you build some muscle as well, let's say beforehand you bulk for a little bit and then get lean. But say like now we're in January, so it's a bit different. I like leaning down now personally, but on a real level, you can change literally how you look on an insane level, which I never really knew at that time. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I only realised it back in 2022 when I saw the massive difference. And it's not like I just realised it, because obviously like there's women in between that and all that and getting attention from it. But on a real level, it was crazy. It was crazy because no one ever told me about this like side effect of how different it makes your face look at that time. And I was obviously getting more traction and all this from when I was fat to in shape, and it obviously gave me a massive confidence boost. But then when you take it to more extremes, like on the right, it just makes an insane difference on how your face looks. You're not really going to feel insanely incredible on the right as well. That's the only thing. You feel good on a real level. Like, I didn't feel too bad. It's just I felt so light because my body fat was so low. I felt so light. Some people say it's hard to eat that much and eat that little and all that, but on a real level, I was eating quite a bit. I was eating around like 2.8 to 3k calories anyway, and I was all right at that point. But on a real level, I needed to bulk because now I weigh like 187. And my body fat's probably like 14 to 15%. So like it's a lot better than when I was on the right, if that makes sense. And if I get down to nearer to 10% now, hopefully I can weigh around like 178, I'd say. Hopefully around 180, hopefully, you know. But yeah, on a real level, you can change how you look. You can change how you look. Like literally look at the left to the right. That's a different person, man. And this is just going to be some inspiration to you lot. It's watching this. If you look similar to the left, you can get yourself to a point where you look similar to the right on this photo. You can get yourself to a point where you look better and you feel better and you're more grateful and you feel more attractive and you're more happy and you look at yourself with actual confidence. And it doesn't take a ridiculous amount. It just takes a bit of consistency and obviously discipline. You know, if you train quite a bit, you could still build a decent physique at home if you don't have time for a gym membership or training. But you can actually get yourself in an amazing condition, and especially let's say for this summer now, some people were saying, oh, it's early to to be speaking about cutting already. But I'm cutting already. I'm doing it slow because I've always liked it like this, and I like being in shape for like April, March, all that anyway, just so I'm on the right track. But if you start cutting now, and let's say you're on the left, you can get to a point where your body fat could be around like 13, 12%, and you look really good if you're consistent. And this is just going to be the inspiration in this video. Understand that you can change how you look. You really can. And this is just going to be a message to you lot who's watching this, and I hope you lot got some inspiration from this, because it can really affect how you look and how your life is, and the attention you get, and how you view yourself, and how you hold yourself. And I just want you lot to get these benefits. Stay in a deficit for a bit of time. Stay in a deficit. Obviously, an amount you can consistently keep up with, because if you go too extreme, you're going to lose muscle. You may lose some fat, but it ain't going to be worth it, because you're more likely to rebound. And this is what I've had before. You rebound because your calories are so low. You're so low, so you want to eat more, and you almost want, your body wants to, and you want to almost, I don't know, get back for the calories you missed, if that makes sense, because you're starving and all that. So you need a balanced amount. If I was, say, on the left, let's say you're around 200 pounds, this would be my advice for you. Eat around 2.4k calories and get in 10k steps. And I guarantee if you do that from now to summer, you will shed some weight. I guarantee you'll lose quite a bit of weight and look better. And that's going to be the message. Get enough protein in as well, and you'll be there. I hope you lot got some value in this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. I hope you like these different types of videos. I'm going to make more like this because I enjoy a different style here or there of videos, because obviously I do a similar type every time. So it'd be nice to do something like this. If you got some value, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.